Hello, my dear viewers. I am going to share a powerful story about the hardships of unemployment and the courage it takes to never give up. Let's learn and grow together. Life had never been easy for Armin. Once full of dreams and aspirations, he had completed his graduation with the hope of securing a stable job, supporting his family, and building a respectable life. He was the eldest son of the family, and after years of struggle, his father had invested every last penny into his education, believing it would change their fortune. But fate had other plans. Months turned into years, and Armin still roamed from one job interview to another, carrying a worn-out file and a hopeful heart. Some days he was told he lacked experience. Other days he was overqualified. Sometimes the jobs required bribes. Other times favoritism ruled over merit. Each rejection felt like a stone added to the burden on his shoulders. At first, his family stood beside him. His mother would comfort him with kind words, and his father would say, "God tests those whom he loves." But as time passed, sympathy turned into silence, and silence into complaints. His younger siblings started treating him with coldness, mocking his failure behind closed doors. His relatives no longer asked about him. Society had already labeled him as useless. The neighbors whispered, "Still no job?" as if unemployment were a crime. There was no shortage of humiliation. Once, Armin overheard a distant uncle say during a family gathering, "What's the point of all his education? He's just sitting idle, eating his parents' food." That night, Armin cried silently, alone in his room. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't careless. He just didn't get the opportunity he had worked so hard for. Every morning, he woke up before the sun. He searched for job openings online, submitted resumes, wrote cover letters, and prepared for interviews. But nothing worked out. Each day ended with disappointment. Yet he repeated the process the next day because he had no other option. His father, now too old and weak to work, often looked at Armin with tired eyes. He didn't blame his son, but his silence spoke louder than words. The kitchen fire had grown smaller. Meals became simpler. Armin often skipped food, lying that he had eaten outside, just to leave more for his family. One day, Armin stood in front of a mirror and barely recognized himself. His eyes had lost their shine, his clothes had faded, and his confidence had shattered. "Am I a burden?" he asked himself. "Is this what I've become?" He tried everything: online freelancing, tuitions, small business ideas, but nothing brought stability. Society never missed a chance to remind him of his failure. If a wedding happened in the neighborhood, no one invited him. If someone got a job, he was deliberately excluded from the celebration. The world respected only success, never struggle. The worst blow came from his own family. One evening, his younger brother, who had recently started earning, taunted him during dinner. "How long will you keep sitting like this? You're just wasting space in this house." Armin couldn't respond. His mother looked away, not saying a word. That silence hurt more than the insult. He left the dinner table and walked out into the night. The streets were quiet, but his mind was loud with thoughts. He walked aimlessly for hours, wondering if he mattered to anyone anymore. Under the street lamp, he sat down and wept, not because he was weak, but because he was tired. Tired of pretending he was okay. Tired of being invisible. But the next morning, something inside him changed. He realized that if no one else believed in him, he had to believe in himself. Maybe the world wouldn't give him a chance, but he could create one. He started learning digital skills from free platforms, content writing, graphic design, and basic coding. He spent sleepless nights practicing, building small portfolios, and applying on freelance websites. The earnings were tiny at first, $5 here, $10 there, but they were his, and they meant everything.
Months later, he got his first big project online. He earned more in 1 week than he had in the entire previous year. Slowly, his confidence returned. His family noticed the change, but still didn't say much. Society didn't applaud him either, but he didn't care anymore. He realized something powerful. When you're unemployed, people see your worth through money, not your pain, not your effort, not your humanity. But he refused to let that define him. He started a small blog writing about his struggles as an unemployed person. His honest words resonated with thousands of readers. Others, like him, began sharing their stories. He turned the blog into a support platform for unemployed youth, sharing job updates, skill-building resources, and emotional support. Years later, Armin became the founder of a nonprofit that helped unemployed people gain skills and find work. He never forgot the pain of being ignored by family and society. But instead of turning bitter, he turned that pain into purpose. In an interview, when asked what advice he had for others struggling like he once did, he said, "You are not your job status. You are not a failure. You are a human being with dreams and dignity. The world may ignore your struggle, but don't ignore your worth. Keep going. Even if the road is dark, walk anyway. You never know when your sunrise will come." Moral of the story: unemployment doesn't define a person's value. Behind every unemployed individual is a heart full of hope and a mind full of effort. Society may judge them, and even family may distance themselves, but these individuals are silently fighting a battle every single day. They deserve not pity, but understanding, not mockery, but support, because the day they rise stronger than ever before.
Arman's story reminds us that unemployment is not just a lack of a job. It's a daily battle against rejection, judgment, and loneliness. Many people like Arman silently fight this battle while society mocks or ignores them. But his journey also shows that no matter how tough life gets, hope and self-belief can light a new path. Arman turned his struggles into strength, learned new skills, and created opportunities not just for himself, but for thousands of others. So if you know someone who's unemployed, don't judge them, encourage them. If you are struggling like Arman did, remember, you are not your job status. You are full of dreams and dignity. Keep learning, keep trying, and never give up. Your time will come. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more real-life lessons and motivational stories. Let's support each other and grow together.